Hello and welcome to 7 Minutes of Inspiration with Seven. You're watching me, Latasha Guy. You're either catching me on my Facebook, YouTube, or you're catching snippets on my Instagram. It is a pleasure to be able to join you on this Wednesday, November the 4th, 2020. It was beating on my heart to jump on today, and sometimes I make all kind of excuses, but if it's beating too loud, I make sure that I address it. And so it's a pleasure to be able to join you. Midweek motivation, hope on a hump day. Please forgive me. Hope on a hump day. Making sure that we're giving it all that we got to get through our week. And so what kept hitting me this week is social media is driving me insane. And so how many of us have had those days, or maybe you're having that day today? I know that I am, in which the bottom line is that social media is driving you insane. It's just driving you insane. I would probably say I'm having one of those days today just because of the current climate, some of the conditions, just what the news is absorbed with. And so about 3 weeks ago, I was fortunate to watch a documentary on Netflix. It's titled The Social Dilemma, and you'll see me looking down at my notes from time to time because I did take notes to make sure I stay on track. But it was a documentary called The Social Dilemma. It's a documentary that's broken down by tech experts that expose the most dangerous impact of social networking. So what this did to me was it opened my eyes up, like completely opened my eyes up, where I was like, I don't know, I just might not even get on social media anymore. I just might leave it alone. But I know that there's certain aspects and things that I do that I want, but I need to be present at certain moments and making sure that I'm taking the right marketing initiatives. But again, what it did was it opened my eyes up. How we're controlled from the moment that we wake up until the moment that we go to sleep. What we eat, what we drink, what we think, what we do. And I know some people are thinking, I'm not on social media like that. But you are, because we're consumers and we're always looking for products. And we've passed beyond that mail catalog days. So we Google, we shop online, and we're trafficked all day long over our thoughts, our wants, our needs. Items are constantly being pushed in our face. So how does social media sometimes give away too much information? Advertising. The Social Dilemma, again, the documentary that I watched stated that if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Anything that you're logging on for free, you have that ability to just search and look online. You are the product because there is something that they're seeking to push to you. Social Dilemma refer to us as users. There's two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software. So think about it. We're constantly being approached to create a username. They want to figure out what products they're going to push to us. Sometimes even when you're creating these usernames, they want certain details. They ask that, they traffic us for what street did you grow up on, all kinds of things. But the bottom line is social media is a drug. A lot of people are checking their smartphones in the morning while you pee or before you pee. You run the risk of addiction. Honestly, you run the risk of addiction. And we have so many people that are competing for our attention. Again, this documentary was put together by tech experts that worked at a lot of the big tech companies and social media companies and social sites that we work on today. And a lot of them left due to them no longer feeling integral in the positions that they held. I know one guy, he talked about one day when he went home, he just found himself, even once he got home, he was just surfing on his phone nonstop. He couldn't stop. It was like an addiction. The past couple of days, I know that's what many of us has been experiencing. Even the ones that are not on social sites as much, you found yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, expecting for the update to change, and they continue to pour more and more and more into your timeline. So again, we've got so many people competing for our attention. You got Google, you got Facebook, you got Bing, whatever platform it is that you use. They do everything possible to keep us engaged. Everything you're doing online is being monitored, tracked, traced. I know that I had just got some contacts a couple weeks ago. As soon as my eyewear was dropped off, within 20 minutes, I had an email saying, "How was your experience? Your package was just delivered." the setup of the packaging. It was all marketing, advertising for me as a consumer to keep me a customer for life. And so at times it's going to demand your attention. I know that now they've gotten very sneaky. How they'll let you know when someone's going live, when they've updated their story, a photo, so on and so forth, when they've updated their profile picture. And we stop. We said we're going to go on there, we're going to look at that one thing, and next thing you know, you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling forever. And so, we don't want to run the risk of addiction. We don't want to be a user. We know that, again, two industries, drugs, social media. We're labeled drugs and software industry. We're labeled as users. And again, just be careful. There was a famous quote even among the documentary from the Truman Show when they said, we accept the reality of the world with which we are presented. So a lot of times the world, if it's negative for us, if we can't find ourselves inspired or empowered to do something different or do something more, it is because of the perception of the reality that you've decided to accept. And so be careful, We want to make sure that we're getting a well-rounded vision and not just a social vision of what our world should look like. So how do we do better? Because I'm still pressing and trying with this one, guys. I'm still pressing and trying. But log off sometimes. Despite the agenda, log off sometimes. When you feel like you're not going to put anything good into the atmosphere, when it seems like you've seen enough, log off. Count your minutes and make them count. I was just speaking last week, a couple of weeks ago, in regards to how do you monitor your time. Set up timers, and when that timer is up, make sure you get it all in, because when that timer's up, log off. Be done with it, because there's nothing else left to collect and more of your time. You have 24 hours in a day. Broke down time. If you break down time, even including sleep, resting, napping, all of that great stuff, we have more than enough time in our day to get what we need to get done. And then, don't get caught up into the FOMO. I call it FOMO because it's the fear of missing out. If I log off, if I take it off my phone, if I decide to disconnect for a while, I'm going to miss something. Who cares? That fear of missing out will mess your life up and leave you addicted, and you'll be scrolling on this mess for hours, and it's not really doing much for you. And right now we know that it's very, very controversial going on social media and what you're going to absorb throughout the day. It's wearing people out. It literally is wearing people out, from the news to social media and your friends personally, the debaters and everything else. It's just too much. So log off. If you feel like you've seen enough, log off. And just know what's going to be, it's going to be. Even with the FOMO vision, the fear of missing out, if something happens, somebody will let you know. They'll let you know. Trust me, we got enough devices to be connected to that we need to learn moderation and balance, guys. We have to. Even myself, I can make all kind of excuses for why I'm on it, but I need to make sure that I'm practicing balance, and we all need to do that. It's been a pleasure to join you on this week. Like I said, it's been on my heart heavy, that whole social dilemma documentary that I watched of how we are being controlled by social media. It's been on my heart heavily to speak on it, and I feel like there was no better day than today when a lot of us are feeling it most heavy. We can't find much positivity anywhere. We're sitting around in anticipation, waiting on results. Just know that despite what the results shall be, we serve a God that can take care of us despite of what the turnout is, and we have to stay positive. And even after all is said and done, He's got us. God's got us, and we don't need to worry about anything that's going on right now. We need to stay encouraged. We need to stay hopeful. Continue to spread love and kindness and joy and hope, and continue to love each other, and continue to go forward in the visions and plans that have been placed over our lives, and not get distracted and not become addicted as users to things that are wasting our time, taking over our time, or not allowing us to balance our time well. So I hope everyone has a amazing rest of your week. Get focused, stay focused. If you're drained, log off, come back later. If you're on there, make sure you're pushing something positive into the atmosphere so that we can be that change. Thank you so much. I leave you with refuse to live less than your best, because that's what you've been called. And guess what? You're amazing.